The Real Life of Cleopatra and Her Historical Beauty Secrets. Cleopatra confers with a scholar amid shelves of scrolls and instruments. She indicates constellations and medicinal plants, outlining commissions. Cleopatra's gaze weighs cost, method, and outcomes before approval. She seals a commission, uniting Greek inquiry and Egyptian wisdom. Under painted canopies, artisans and scholars prepare works for review. Cleopatra enters, serene yet attentive, observing every detail. She nods to a mathematician, appreciating elegant, practical proofs. A physician presents herbal notes, Cleopatra approves their refinement. Lamplight pools on dispatches as tension gathers in the chamber. Cleopatra reads Rome's ultimata, weighing each word with care. Across the room, Marcus Antonius paces, the floor creaking softly. They share a brief exchange, resolve hardening in the quiet. Stone vaults breathe cool air as treasures are prepared for sealing. Cleopatra surveys the vault, measuring what must be safeguarded. She marks a seal, committing treasure and legacy to guarded silence. She walks on, dignity intact, as doors loom like history's threshold. Moonlight rims lotus pools as the garden settles into profound quiet. Cleopatra sits beneath a palm, a sealed letter resting in hand. She looks up to the stars, resolve quiet and unwavering. A final breath, the garden holds its stillness around her choice. The royal barge glides upriver as fields and temples drift by. Cleopatra gestures toward granaries, outlining reforms with quiet confidence. Maps unfurl between them, crops and trade routes sketched in ochre ink. Temple pylons loom as the barge passes, priests watching from shaded steps. Caesar meets her eye, a shared understanding anchors policy to river reality. Silk canopies billow as the perfumed barge approaches the Tarsus quay. Cleopatra steps into view, her arrival measured, the air subtly charged. A breath's distance, their eyes read intent as banners flick beneath the sunday. A gift is offered, a small alabaster vial, diplomacy scented with roses. They turn toward the city, a path opening where politics meets theater. Gold leaf and blue faience glow as the banquet begins in measured splendor. Between goblets, sealed letters slide forward, their wax catching the fire. She reads, then lifts her gaze. The pact takes shape beneath quiet ceremony. Antonius leans in, terms are weighed with the precision of generals. They seal it with a nod, spectacle bows to strategy in quiet accord. Relief maps rise like terrain as morning light filters through lattice. Cleopatra moves a token to Syria, his brow eases as plans align. Fingertips hover over Egypt and Syria, a silent accord settles. He traces supply lines, she marks depots with measured strokes. A final look passes, eastward intent is set without a word. Winds rake the headland, distant fleets stipple the iron horizon. Cleopatra joins him at the brink, the gale threads their garments. She points to the far formation, timing and tide become calculus. A drum's throb from below shakes the air, resolve hardens quietly. Together, they turn from the cliff. Decisions wait in the coming dark. Dawn mist curls above the Nile as fishermen ready their boats. The narrator reflects on a queen's passing and the echo of her reign. Across the water, memory lingers like breath upon the morning. The river moves on, bearing legends that refuse to fade. From Nile to world, her name carries forward on the current. Sunlight spills across marble as a creamy milk bath softly steams. With practiced grace, she smooths oil to seal moisture into her skin. Natural remedies wait within arm's reach, balanced and precise. She massages gently, encouraging circulation and a healthy glow. A final rinse, then linens wrap in freshness and calm. A calm vanity glows with kohl, beads, and polished bronze mirrors. Her hand is steady as she lines her gaze with precise strokes. Beads are woven into braids, each placement intentional and elegant. Along the hairline, botanical oils add luster and fragrance. She straightens, composed, the look complete and luminous. Lamplight warms alabaster bottles of rose, cedar, and myrrh. She blends notes with care, balancing floral lift and resin depth. Oil warms on stone as the chamber's scent deepens and soothes. With nods of guidance, careful hands begin a restorative massage. Tension eases, breath slows, the ritual completes in serene balance. A bright set pairs ancient inspiration with simple modern tools. Step 1. Dilute milk for a gentle, hydrating rinse. Step 2. Blend honey with aloe for a soothing, balanced mask. Apply lightly, then rinse, keep fragrance subtle and skin-friendly. Thanks for watching. Carry the ritual forward with care and curiosity. At the desert's rim, Cleopatra studies a rough map by brazier light. Sand rattles against canvas, she marks a furtive route back to Alexandria. She lifts her gaze to the stars, aligning resolve with the constellations. She secures the tablet, tucks the map, and steadies herself to depart. One last look toward Alexandria, resolve hardens in the desert silence. Roman triremes glide toward Alexandria beneath the blazing Mediterranean Sunday. From a shaded archway, Cleopatra watches the foreign banners ripple ashore. Julius Caesar steps onto the quay, as protocol and suspicion mingle. She retreats deeper into shade, cataloging strengths and intentions. Beyond the lighthouse, Rome's prows fan out, and Alexandria holds its breath. Curtains part, lamplight reveals Cleopatra awaiting Rome's most powerful voice. Julius Caesar enters, measured courtesy bridges wary, brilliant minds. She presents her case with an unhurried clarity shaped by necessity. A brief silence holds, mutual calculation hardens into opportunity. Agreement implied, the map awaits the next move under steady flame. The city map room hums with urgency, routes and stores demand decisions. Markers align, firelight from outside stains the stone with warning. They confer in clipped phrases, weighing risk against reach. Outside, smoke thickens, inside, logistics lock into place. A final adjustment, the room steadies for the oncoming trial. Lotus columns rise as Egypt's throne receives its assured sovereign. Beside her, Caesar stands as seals warm under the weight of decree. Witnesses bow, protocol folds into a new equilibrium of rule. The final seal meets wax, legitimacy becomes tangible and public. Applause swells, the throne room settles into confident quiet after triumph. Sunlight shimmers across the Nile as papyrus boats drift downstream. Reeds part as ibises rise, their wings catching hard noon light. The camera sweeps toward the desert where pyramids crown the horizon. Marble temples and colonnades peek from date palms along the bank. The vista settles on river and desert, promise of an epic unfolding. Light spills through a vaulted hall, dust motes drifting like gold. The curtain lifts, revealing Cleopatra's gaze, steady and enigmatic. Brushwork and gold leaf reveal diadem details, radiant yet restrained. Reflections ripple across the panel, as if the Nile touched paint. The camera settles on her eyes, inviting the story behind them. The Pharos lighthouse commands a harbor alive with sails and shouts. Marble colonnades frame the sea lanes and bustling quays below. Cleopatra surveys the docks, profile steady against wind and sail. A merchant convoy forms, a sign of markets answering the crown. She turns inward, already weighing currents beyond the horizon. Sunlit tesserae form Egypt beneath a ceiling of painted stars. Cleopatra studies the busts, lineage etched in stone and script. Ptolemy XII's likeness stands nearest, a weary gaze meeting hers. Greek and Egyptian names glow, two scripts threading one dynasty. She looks down at Egypt in mosaic, future paths glinting in tesserae. A study bench holds wax tablets, papyri, and reed pens neatly aligned. Cleopatra repeats phrases, eyes bright, posture attentive and poised. A tutor gestures from glyphs to Greek, bridging worlds with a reed pen. Scroll spines reveal subjects, stars, herbs, law, and measured rhetoric. She inscribes carefully, confidence settling into each carved stroke. By lamplight, Cleopatra studies stars and whispers layered languages. She shifts tongues Egyptian to Greek, recording alliances with precision. She cross-references constellations with notes on ports and grain flows. She pauses, eyes steady, choosing a path between wisdom and power. Morning light diffuses as Cleopatra walks beneath carved cartouches. The old king's stone gaze towers, his shadow reaches toward her path. She studies inscriptions, absorbing whispers of succession and duty. She turns on, chin lifted, carrying the corridor's weight with poise. Lotus columns rise as a gilded dais awaits the co-ruler's ascent. The uraeus crown lowers, eyes meet, alliance formal yet fragile. Decrees unfurl, sigils flash as the court bows to shared rule. A seal meets wax, fixing promise and rivalry in the same breath. Night gathers as opposing ledgers divide the council table in two. Ink strokes diverge, her line meets his with an immovable edge. Whispers coil at their shoulders, counsel cutting in opposite directions. She straightens, closing a ledger as the room tightens around choice. Perfumed dusk settles as Cleopatra walks the vine-latticed paths. From a pergola, Ptolemy XIII watches, patience edged with suspicion. A parchment changes hands beneath vines, secrecy folded in shadow. She does not hurry, the garden swallows the secret with quiet elegance.